And we are back at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium, where the St. Vincent and the Grenadines under 19 are facing a target of 223 to win this encounter against the Dominica under 19. The very first delivery of the second of this final inning, we saw Yazi Grano bowling. It was Beno bowling the young opener for the St. Vincent team for not. The current score is 11 for 1 after 2 overs. Rayshon Lewis is on 4 and Ethan Gibson also on 4. Beno, it's going to be an interesting afternoon.
Certainly it's going to be. We saw Yazi, the very first ball of the last 4th inning, running in and literally yucking the young opener, and that set the tone for the Dominicans. Since then we saw Yazi, bowl a few balls. The over was sort of like indifferent, but he definitely started well. So it's going to be a tall order for the Vincent Shan.
Well, early on in the day, we saw Dominica team getting up to 111 with a lead of 111 on first innings. I think the Dominicans are really licking their lips this afternoon, fancying their chances of bowling out St. Vincent and winning this game outright, Ben.
Yeah, and the situation St. Vincent has found themselves in is almost as if they don't really have a choice. They have to try to, having lost on first innings or having been led by Dominica on first innings. They're almost in a situation where they have to try to win the game, because you're playing in a tournament for points, really, and it would make much be beneficial to them for them to just be prodding around. They have to give themselves a chance, and they have quite a bit of overs to get the target. Therefore, they will have to try to get it.
Well, they have a decrease young Lewis, who in the first inning signaled his intentions. He batted very aggressively in the first inning, and I'm sure that the Dominicans have put plans in place for him. But the wicket is still very good for batting. We saw this morning the spinners getting quite a bit of purchase off of the surface, but it's still very good.
Yes, most definitely. Very good batting wicket, and if you put your head down, you will certainly get the rewards. And I think for both sides. So the score is currently 1 for 13. Still need quite a bit of runs to get, but it's early days, and we can only hope for a good match in the end, because a lot of times we get caught up between, like Ireland's favoring your team over the other. But at the end of the day, the bigger picture is to get the cream, the best players to represent the Windward Islands.
So far in this over, we have seen Yazi Grano bowling that ball, probably you could say 5 different areas. He hasn't been too consistent in this over so far. We have seen a few balls all the way outside the off stump, and a few going down the leg as well. And on a surface like this, and the way it has been playing, the new ball is very important for the Dominica team, I must say.
Yeah, most definitely. It appears that there's a change in plan in terms of the new ball bowlers. In the first innings, he came on as the 4th bowler. But here we see him, having the privilege of opening the bowling. I'm not sure what exactly, the plan is, but it's probably to give him a run to see. I thought he bowled very well, bowling 4th. He bowled extremely well. He was actually bowling to set plans, and he really executed his work efficiently.
Well, when you look at the field setting that young Pascal has set so far for Shukwan Tuse, you can see the plans for the Dominicans are very clear. Right now, Tuse is operating without a fine leg. He has 3 slips and a gully, and he's looking to shift the ball away from the left hander at the moment. So I think from our standpoint or vantage point, you can see that the plans are clear. It's really and truly trying to get that ball on a foolish length, shipping away.
Yes, indeed, you can, and Shukwan is actually trying his utmost to execute the plans that are set, and based on my estimation so far, he's doing a pretty good job in doing what was set. And nice, like you said, a decent field has been set, and Shukwan just have to work his way, be patient. Sometimes you find bowlers not patient enough, and they try to get a wicket every delivery, but it's just about working away batsmen. Here you see a ball trying to get the magic ball. They're trying to swing it as big as they possibly can, and without any swing this time, based on your wrist position, the ball just slides down the leg side.
And that's what I like about 2-day cricket, or I should say the longer format of the game. You are challenged to outthink the batsmen or think the bowlers. It's a thinking game. In limited overs, you find you can set a field and bowl just to contain. In this level of cricket, or this version of cricket, you are forced to set plans and think of batsmen. And that's another reason why I'm happy to see 2-day cricket back at the under-19 level. I'm happy to see cricket back at the under-19 level, but it's very pleasing to see the Windward Islands board bringing back 2-day cricket at the under-19 level.
Yeah, certainly, Kevin. Here we saw Shukwan probably a little bit over trying and bowl a very wayward ball down the leg side, and ball, the keeper not doing a good job of it, and ball going into the fine leg boundary for 4 wides or 4 byes.
Yes, it wasn't a good delivery, but I still think that the keeper should have held on to it. But you see again, Shukwan just having a little trouble with his line there. Still going down the leg side with that delivery. But I think he just needs to settle down at the moment, Beno. If he can just get that ball on a foolish length, just on the off stump or just outside the off stump, then he could probably start working from there.
Exactly. As much as the game is a patient game for the batsman, it is equally as a patient game for bowlers. And I think here he goes again down the leg side. He's a bit admonishing himself a bit, but it's about working your way. Start like you quite rightly said and get it exactly where you want it. But it wasn't too much of an impressive over this time from Shikwan. But I'm sure walking back to the fine leg area, he will think about it and he'll come back stronger.
Yes, definitely. In the meantime, St. Vincent has moved on quickly to 20. They're 20 for 1 after 4 overs. We see from the pavilion head, Ziguano will continue. And he will be bowling to young Luis, who's on 5.
Yeah, you see young Luis being struck on the pad there for full delivery, but not given out by the umpire. Kevin, we see young Grano coming from around the wicket, changing his angle a bit and coming around the wicket and angling the ball into the left-hand batsman, and he tends to bowl as full as he possibly can with some decent pace, so you never know. So he's wrapped on the pad again there, loud appeal by the fieldsman, but not out, says the umpire. So he's working his way into a decent length, Kevin.
Yes, and as you said about coming from wrong the wicket, it's a popular choice for fast bowlers these days, coming right arm wrong the wicket to left-handed batsmen. And that is something that became popular by Andrew Flintoff in the Ashes, bowling to Adam Gilchrist and so on. So, strange that he has decided to come wrong the wicket when he's bringing the ball back into the left-hander. You tend to want to move the ball away from the left-handers from around the wicket.
Oh, yeah, it's an interesting choice, yeah.
They're out there and they're probably seeing something that we are not, and they have their plans. So, let's see how it goes. But I'm looking at Luis and his positive intent, the aggression that he's showing. That is something that is exciting to see. It seems to me that St. Vincent and the Grenadines are depending heavily on him as their leading batter, and it's gonna be interesting to see how he goes about the business this afternoon, because as we said, the wicket showed late yesterday afternoon and this morning the help it has for the spinners, and we know the Dominica team is stacked with spinners in their attack. I mean, they have Tyrese Leblanc, Jelani Joseph, 2 right arm leg spinners, Jason Vidal, left arm orthodox, and Joel Dura as the lone off spinner. So it's going to be a great challenge for the St. Vincent and the Grenadines this afternoon.
Yeah, certainly it is going to be. I think probably based on the positiveness you see of young Luis, he probably has that in the back of his mind too. That at some stage things will get a little tighter. So he's making hay while the sun shines. The end of the over, the score is 1 for 24 after 5 overs. Remaining overs in the day, it looks like 39 overs. Is that? It looks as if it should be more overs than 39
I don't
overs.
think it's 39
Yeah,
overs.
but that's what the scoreboard is showing. But
they required for 199
99 runs to win. Yeah, certainly.
And as we said, we spoke about the left arm spin in Justin Vidal. He has been brought into the attack already. So Stefan Pascal is not going to wait too long. He hasn't waited very long to introduce the spin, and I think that he has gone to, well, his most steady bat bowler, slow bowler, and it's going to be interesting to see how Justin operates there this afternoon.
Yeah, yesterday you saw the same thing where Justin starts a little bit loose. Interestingly, yesterday he started wrong the wicket bowling to 11-handers. And then after 3 balls, he switched over to bowling over the wicket. This time, today, he bowled a full ball on the legs of the batsman, who just swept it away to the boundary for 4.
Yeah, Gibson played a very good sweep shot there through square leg. Another very good delivery to start with, but it was a splendid shot.
Indeed.
A very good delivery there by Justin Vidal to end his first over, which went for 7 runs. St. Vincent and the Grenadines 31 for 1, and we see a change in bowling from the pavilion end. Seems like Kyron Phillip is going to be introduced into the attack. So the captain, you would say, is really trying to change things around. The partnership is 31, Beno.
Yes, indeed. They're rebuilding after losing their first wicket. The very first ball of the inning. I think they've done well in terms of getting to 31 now at this present moment after 6 overs. And as you quite rightly said,
There
initially it looks like
there seems to be a
a
change,
change
of
of
plan.
plan. Yeah. Kyron was getting ready to bowl. Kyron Phillip and it will be Joel.
Yeah,
Jura,
Joel,
the
Joel
off
Jura,
spinner.
the off
Yeah.
spinner.
He was very successful the first innings, and he's been introduced from the Billy Doctor Pavilion end, and he will come in to bowl to Gibson. Young
I think
Gibson.
at this time, Benno, it's a good idea to have the off spinner operating to the two left-handers. We also saw the Vincent and captain Luke
Yes.
also operating from the Billy Doctor Pavilion end. So, and we saw that of the purchase that he got off the surface. So it's going to be interesting. Joel, a much smaller man, a full toss there by young Joel, and Gibson it is hitting that ball over the man at mid-on for 4.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a bit of a fight back from St. Vincent here. The Dominican bowlers probably need to settle down a little bit and fine-tune their plans. They right now all over the place in terms of their lines and their lengths.
Yeah, the lengths are very inconsistent. Lines and lengths are they're not creating any pressure. But I'm sure Kevin, young Jura will come into his own because he's a very steady bowler. Probably not the greatest turner of the ball, but he drifts the ball and he's almost like he has the ball on a string. He keeps it very tidy on his lines. So you expect him as he get into his own, he will be much better as the afternoon, as his spell continues.
Well, we'll see how he goes, because remember, Kyron was the one who was going to come on, and the captain made the decision to bring him on. So probably he wasn't as prepared as he wanted to be or should have been. But as you said, he's usually very steady. So we will see as he gets into his spell how it goes.
Yeah, tidy enough over just one ball that was hit over the mid-on for Bongri. After that, he finished the over pretty decently. So he'll, like we agreed, he'll get into his own, and you'll see his best this afternoon. I think the plan is to switch Kyron from the media center end. As we see, he's marking up his run up and he's ready to continue doing battle for Dominica.
Well, yeah, Kyron will operate from the commentary booth end, and it's going to be interesting how it goes with the slightly older ball. Ball is still relatively new. It's only 7 overs old, but I've always regarded Kyron as a swing bowler. So it's going to be interesting operating to Luis, who has shown his aggression once again in the second inning.
Yeah, well, yes, Kevin, you would have known quite a bit of Kyron. I remember one season he played with you in the Premier League, one of few players in this Dominica team who had the experience of playing 2 days cricket in Dominica.
Yes, Beno, not many of them would have had the opportunity to play 2-day cricket, as we have not had it for a few years. And as I said earlier, today and yesterday, that it's really pleasing to see the Windward Islands board bringing back 2-day cricket. We know the challenges that we face with COVID-19, as well as probably finances as well. And to see Windward coming on board and sponsoring once again can only help Windwards and by extension West Indies cricket.
Yes, indeed, certainly. We are very thankful to have Windward come on board and sponsor these kinds of tournament. Today cricket is basically where the foundation, should be set, and then you expand into other formats as you go along. And like you quite rightly said, over the last 2 years, to be exact, we've been playing quite a lot of white ball cricket here in Dominica, and with the situation, I think it used to be a concern where the expenses and so on, and then the COVID hit and all of that. During the pandemic, there was absolutely no cricket, so we had to like a stopgap. We were involved in playing quite a lot of white ball cricket.
An opportunity goes big in there. Kyron dropping what seemed to be a relatively easy return catch there. He looks very disappointed, I must say. That ball just a full ball just on the body of stump, and Lewis hitting it just to the left of Kyron. And to me, Beno, he looked very casual going forward.
Yeah, how do you drop those kinds of catches? I mean, it wasn't really too hard. I can't. I think he's very hard on himself there, but these are the catches you take to make a difference in the game. This is one of the top batsmen in the St. Vincent and the Grenadines team. You don't really want to be dropping him a straightforward catch.
That's a brilliant shot there by Lewis. A short ball there from Kyron, and he pulled that through the mid-wicket region for 4. Kyron, we could say, after dropping that easy catch, probably it would hurt him even more being pulled from mid-wicket like that. And when you look at the field setting of the Dominica team in that over, it really looked like a plan really and truly working out. You saw that the team had 3 slips and there was nobody at backward point. There was a man in the covers and a man at mid-off, and that indicated to me, Beno, that the idea was to bowl him as close as they could, and the plan seemed to have worked well until it got to Kyron.
Yes, it's just a matter, again, comes back to the same thing I said earlier. You have to be patient. You don't expect to be running in every ball and get a wicket. The game really doesn't work like that. And the boys, especially the bowlers, they just need to stay patient and be consistent with the lens and create pressure and everything will happen. We see some brilliant fielding there by young Jelani Joseph moving to his right there and diving and preventing the batsman from getting any run. There we saw the batsman coming forward and driving through the legs of the bowler.
I don't know if it's a fair factor. We noted that yesterday that quite a few deliveries went through him coming off the bat. So it's something that he's a very young guy, something that he would definitely need to work on. But yet again, Beno, these are the reasons why competitions like that is important. They get the opportunity. We get to see them perform and get to see what they need to work on as well. And that's a massive hit there by Luis once again over the long off boundary for 6. He moves on to 22. St. Vincent moves on to 48 for 1. The partnership is 48. And the Dominicans, Beno, seem to be very flat out there.
Yeah, yesterday, if you compare yesterday with today, so the 2 days in comparison, I will agree with you that they are very flat indeed. They're very flat. And there we saw Joel just floating a ball up to Luis, and he just cleared the front leg sort of and slapped the ball over the long off boundary for a big 6. And like we say with the Dominicans, need to get their thoughts and their skills together and create a little bit of more pressure.
So it's a sunny day at the Windsor Park. We urge Dominican public to come out and support the youngsters. They are representing themselves, their families, and the Dominica. We're also urging the public to come out and see the young boys from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As we all know, at one point they will all be playing together representing the Windward Islands. So yes, it's you come to support the Dominica team, but at one point we will be all supporting all 4 islands as we join together to take on the other countries in the regional under 19 competition. So Beno, there's lots of space at the Windsor Park, and we're hoping that we can get some people coming in over the next session to see what seemed to be an interesting match.
Yes, Kevin, I am in total agreement with you. We are calling and encouraging people to let us take a walk after work, come sit down in the beautiful Windsor Park and enjoy the youngsters. They both on either team, they are fighting and toiling for their countries, and it will all go well if you come in and give them the support. We see Kyron bowling his foot delivery, just angling the ball across the batsman, and that is what the Dominican bowlers need to do. Just toil away, keep being patient, just and see what happens from there. It makes no sense trying to bowl a magic ball each delivery. Got to be. You just plug away on your lines. The field is a good field, set good plans, and let the batsman do the work. Let them do the running, instead of just trying to bowl a magic ball.
Well, it's going to be interesting seeing the plans unfold by the Dominicans. Because right now Kyron is bowling just on about the off stump, and you can see a fine leg and a deep backward square leg being stationed out there. So we could probably see a short one coming along somewhere, probably in this over or maybe Kyron's next over. We can only wait and see, I guess, Beno. But from what I'm seeing, the wicket at this point doesn't have much for the fast bowlers. The ball is moving away, seeming away a little bit, but there is definitely no moisture left in that surface. It's just right now, if you apply yourself as a batsman there against the seamers, you can definitely get yourself in and get runs.
Here you see the batsman coming forward and easing the ball through the offside there, and Sheikh Toussaint moving to his right, not to pick up cleanly, and the batsman coming back for a second run, which takes the score to 50. So SVG has responded very well in terms of their run chase. They are now 50 for 1 after 10 overs.
And at drinks, we have 52 for 1, St. Vincent. Rashid Lewis, 23. Ethan Gibson, 22 not out. The partnership is 52. And it has come in quick time. A current run rate of 4.73 runs and over. St. Vincent need a further 171 runs to win. Dominica needing 9 wickets. So it's going to be an interesting final hour before tea or thereabout. And it's definitely going to be an interesting final session at the Windsor Park this afternoon. And we are back at the after the drinks break. Kyron Phillip will continue for Dominica, and he will be bowling to Ethan Gibson. Gibson has moved on quite comfortably to 22, while Rashid Lewis has been the aggressor of the two. Beno, young Luis reminds me of another Vincentian left-handed batsman, Gideon Pope. The same sort of style, the same sort of aggression. He's a batsman who seems to also want to get on with things.
Yeah, that's a very good observation, and also his physique, his way he's built as well. You know, he's stockily built, looks like a very physically strong, and the same intent, same see ball, hit ball kind of stuff. Yeah, but yeah, you're quite right, Kevin.
Kyron seems to have settled down a bit. This over so far, he has been consistent on the line of the off stump, and Pope. I'm even saying Pope. Lewis has been equal to the task. He's left a few of them outside the off stump. We tend to see wickets fall after a water break, so I guess the Vincentians are being cautious coming out of the water break. Dominica seemed to have come out a bit defensively after the water break with the off spinner. We see a man being placed at cover on the boundary, as well as long off and long on for Gibson. What I've noticed in this over so far, Beno, Jura has now started getting a bit of purchase of the surface, and I don't know, with 170 odd runs still to get, probably young Pascal could look to to get somebody a bit closer to the bat, just to apply some pressure. As you know, playing age group cricket, pressure could be, you could say, the 13th man on the field. When you look at just getting somebody in the eye line close enough to the bat that you have to think, probably that would have been a better idea than to open the field out so much for Gibson, who isn't really the aggressor of the two.
Yeah, certainly it may be a situation to where the captain is probably operating on advice or on instructions, because you see, after the water break, it's clear that you notice the plans of field setting has sort of like changed, and it may be that, but I agree with you that putting somebody in the eye line of the batsman can create that pressure that you need, because that's the game. The game is basically create pressure, and then you get wickets.
Well, Benno, we'll see how these plans unfold, because the Dominican contingent with Sam Kernan and Phoenix Thomas are definitely two very experienced coaches. So I don't think that we are in a position to really question the tactics of these two gentlemen. So let's see how it unfolds. I know that they planned very well in the first inning, and you could almost say everything went to the T. So where I sit, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, most definitely. I too.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
We can only give opinions and give suggestions, or basically we are even saying what we see. There we see an opportunity there for another cotton ball for Kyron, but it was just out of his reach.
Yes, most definitely.
So he is probably the only bowler at this point creating some sort of opportunity. Speaking with the manager's cap on, I'm hoping that he can hold on to one of these opportunities, but we can only wait and see. That's a lovely shot there over the top by Luis. Trademark left-hander shot, Benno, hitting that ball on the up over extra cover.
Yeah, I think it was I can well understand what Kyron is trying to do, but too much room. I think that ball was, spraying wide outside the stump and angling from over the wicket, right arm over the wicket, and it gives Luis enough space to clear, the cover area and get in a boundary.
Yeah, definitely too much room. But what I can say is that Luis has come out and he's been batting very well. He has taken the attack to the bowlers, and the Dominican bowlers will have to adjust. 59 for 1 after 13.5 overs. St. Vincent are fancying their chances, and I know the Dominica team fancy their chances of getting 9 wickets this afternoon. But they have to toil and look for that very important first wicket. So Kyron Phillip ends the over for wide one outside the off stump, and Luis left it alone. Say, you're not going to get me with this one.
This one was definitely too wide to be played at. It would be almost criminal to get out chasing the ball as wide as this, chasing a total of 223 for your team and getting out, chasing such a delivery. So he did the right thing from a St. Vincent standpoint in not attempting to chase that delivery. And from a St. Vincent standpoint, they just have to continue doing what they're doing right now. And for Dominica needs to keep plugging away, and hopefully the result will come.
Yeah, well, it's an exciting encounter. It's exciting cricket. These youngsters are putting on a show. The batting is very well at the moment. St. Vincent batting very well at the moment. And as we said, Dura has settled down nicely. And Kyron is bowling a very good spell as well. So it's interestingly poised. I think the odds are very much in Dominica's favor at the moment. And that's based on what we are seeing with the assistance that the wicket is given. We still have not seen two of the Dominica spinners in the attack. So it's going to be a good afternoon of cricket. And from what I can see here, I can see that the Windward selectors, I've not seen the game, any of the of play in Portsmouth, but the Windward selectors may just have a very difficult time in selecting not only the under 19, but from what I gather, and under 17 as well. So
in this over, we notice Joel Duran is bowling a bit shorter, and I don't know what is the cause of that, but he looks like he's giving the batsman ample time to hit the ball off the back foot wherever they would like. So he needs to bring the batsman forward as much as he possibly can. This occasion, he was able to bring the batsman forward and just pushing the ball on the other side, picked up by the man at mid-on, shot mid-on. At the end of the over, the score is 62 for 1 after 15 overs, and still I needed 161 runs for victory. St. Vincent, Dominica needed 9 wickets for victory as well. Here we see a change of bowling. Young Jelani Joseph is going to be brought into the attack, leg spinner. Young Jelani Joseph bowls both off break and leg break, and as we saw there, his first delivery to the batsman there, Gibson, appeared to be an off break, and you see Gibson stroking the ball in the air but falling well short of the man at the cover, extra cover boundary. Shekwan coming in, picking up the ball on the bounce. And the score moves on to 64. Yeah, Luis stroking that ball there towards Shukwan Tuse, and the score now moving to 64 for 1. Yeah, you saw a brilliant catch there by Tyrese Ribeiro, a long hop and pulling that ball straight to Tyrese Libley on the mid-wicket boundary. And what a way to get out after batting so solidly, Kevin.
Yes, Ben, a disappointing shot, and the breakthrough is here for the Dominica team. solid partnership of 64 coming to an end with a poor shot. As you said, a short delivery.
It was an extremely short delivery.
Short delivery.
Yeah.
And a poor shot there by Gibson. He goes for 28. And St. Vincent 64 for 2.
Yeah,
Jelani Joseph getting a wicket of in his first over. And that may just be the spark that the Dominica team needs.
Yeah, certainly. I thought this delivery you could have hit that ball anywhere you wanted, but he chose to pick the lone man on the Dibekut boundary, and here is his demise. But Jelani has answered the call to his captain, and he's made the breakthrough that was much needed for the Dominican lads.
So Beno Baptiste is the new batsman, getting off the mark immediately. St. Vincent 65 for 2. Jelani Joseph, he's bowled 5 deliveries in the over and he has taken 1 wicket for 3 runs. He's mixing it up, and there goes Lewis hitting that one over mid long on. That's a huge 6 there over long on by Lewis. Picking it up off a length, hitting that one over long on, 6 runs. The score moves on to 71. Lewis moves on to 35. 16 overs have been bowled in the inning. St. Vincent and the Grenadines 71 for 2, chasing 223.
Yes, Kevin, you saw the physical strength of Luis came into full effect there, where he just stretched forward and released that ball right over the long on boundary for a massive 6, and he will look to continue for his team. I thought Jelani bowling the leg break there, and I think Luis went with the turn, so it was probably a bit easy for him. It's always a bit difficult for the leggies to bowl to left-handers, especially when they are shot makers. It can be difficult. So we see young Joel from the Billy Dock Trove Pavilion and getting into his work now. At the fall of the second wicket, you see him bowl a few dot balls to the new batsman. Now he's up against Luis.
I think, Benno, that Dura has been guilty of bowling too short too often. His line has been okay generally, but I think he has been having issues with the lengths that he bowls, and because of that, he has not been able to apply the kind of pressure that his captain would need from him. We see a misfield there by Kyron Phillip at mid-on.
Yeah, simple opportunity to just clean up, and he bobbled it. I had to turn and chase.
Baptiste moves on to 4 with that misfield. They were able to get 2 runs.
Yes, and the score is 75 for 2.
Even though yeah, Beno, I think one thing I've realized so far in the Dominican's period in the field, the Vincentian bowlers bowl a lot slower than that of the Dominicans. Find there is not really any flight with Joel Dura, and when we saw Justin Vidal as well, he was also flat.
Another full toss from Jelani Joseph, and ball. That's one swung that down too long on boundary again for another boundary.
Yeah, well, it comes back to the consistency. And Dominica seem to be struggling at this point with bowling in and executing their plans. But as we go back to the pace at which the Vincentians bowled, Beno, I think that has a lot to do with the amount of turn that they got. Windsor Park generally turns slowly, but I think this morning the Vincentians used it to their advantage. They pegged back the Dominicans very well. The batting was very slow this morning, for the most part under 2 runs and over. But You see the Dominicans putting a lot more pace on their deliveries and extracting a lot less from the surface this afternoon.
Do you feel that's happened as a result of these players, quite a bit of them being involved in the T10? I think it looks more like white ball bowling, like it's flat, like you can see just this last delivery from Joel. It's almost like the same kind of deliveries he bowled during the T10.
It might be, but I think that the way Luis came out this afternoon has a lot to do with the mindset of the Dominican bowlers. As you see, Luis once again going over the top of long on, and this one is a massive six. Massive six by Luis. He moves on to 43. He's looking very dangerous here this afternoon.
Yeah, he's putting his team in a strong position to overhaul that target set by Dominica, and therefore the Dominicans need to be cognizant of that.
Well, as I said, Benno, it's going to be an interesting afternoon. We are about 10 minutes or so away from the tea interval. You can see, I'm very sure that both teams will evaluate their situation at tea and put together some plans to come out there and make the last session a very interesting one.
Yeah, I think they need to. I think the break will be very welcome for the Dominicans. Now I think they'd use that break for regrouping, because they sort of like flat, and there we just saw man driving the ball to short cover, and Captain Stefan Pascal diving to his left and made a nice stop which prevented any run.
Well, Joel Dura has bowled 7 overs with no maidens, no wicket for 27 runs. He has not been his normal or usual consistent self, and it may very well be his last over in the spell, Beno, where I see on the field I can see young Tyrese LeBlanc loosening up, so you never know, it could be the end of the spell for Joel. The score 86 for 2, with Jelani Joseph continuing. He has so far gotten 1 wicket for 14 runs, but has proven to be expensive as well. He's only bowled 2 overs. And here is Baptiste driving one down the ground, a misfield there by Jaden Joseph at mid-off, and the batsman crossed for 2. So the partnership is 24, Baptiste is on 10, Luis on 43. The Vincentians are 88 for 2 from 9.2 overs, a further 135 runs to get, Beno.
Yeah, interestingly too, we're noticing that Jelani is switched from wrong the wicket, and he's at the moment bowling right arm over the wicket, which will obviously change the angle to the batsman. He seems to be giving the batsman a little bit more to think about, but they're still scoring quite freely.
Yes, I think that, well, early on he was bowling a lot more off breaks to the left-handers. Now he's bowling quite a bit more leg spinners. So I guess he has gone over the wicket to cramp them for a bit of room. As you can see, for Luis, he has a deep mid-wicket, a deep backward square, and a long on to get the long off. So the captain realized that Luis can be dangerous, and he has and he's bowled him. He's bowled him.
Beautiful leg break for a left-hander. It's an off break, but this was very well bowled.
Beautiful
the length and the
break.
batsman choosing to play back rather than coming forward, and he would be advised to play those types of deliveries forward, but it's a bit too late for him, Kevin.
Well, he is walking back very slowly to the players' pavilion. Luis is gone for 43. A brilliant delivery from Jelani Joseph. Brilliant leg spin. from this youngster. And St. Vincent, 89 for 3, Beno. The dangerous Luis is gone. That ball pitched just outside the off stump and having a little bit of an extra bounce to it, Beno. And the Dominicans, what a wicket to get before the tea interval.
Indeed, I think that has opened up things for the Dominican team, because it is quite noticeable that, you know, whatever happened in that game was between the Dominicans and Luis.
Well, this changes everything now for the St. Vincent team. The dangerous Luis is gone. There's a new batsman at the crease. The Dominicans have gotten an injection just before the tea interval. I think we have somewhere just about 5 minutes left for play before the tea break. And you can see the difference. We have a slip. There's somebody coming in shortish in the extra cover position. There's a short mid wicket. We only have one player, one fielder out on the boundary now. And the incoming batsman, Cody Grant, is going to have to deal with young Jelani Joseph. A short delivery to end the over by Joseph. Grant playing it back along the track. A successful over for the Dominicans. St. Vincent finished the 20th over, 89 for 3. A current run rate of 4.45. So they're scoring their runs quickly, Beno. But the dangerous Luis is gone. And I think this changes everything for Dominica. As we see, St. Vincent still requiring 134 runs for victory.
Yes, and you're probably safe in saying that, because, I mean, based on what we saw yesterday, it appears that Luis is the guy that was responsible for this run rate, you know. And now he's back in the pavilion. It's probably difficult to see how they can maintain that run rate going forward.
Well, young Dura has convinced his captain to keep him in the attack. As we said, he has been struggling with his lines and his lengths, but I guess that the captain felt that it's okay. There's an appeal by the wicketkeeper. That seemed to have come off the bat of Baptist. Yes, and there is no signal by umpire Alex McGlaw. So the St. Vincent total goes up by 1. We're now 90 for 3. Dura almost went through the gates there of Baptist with an arm ball, so to speak. Then
certainly this one rushed him, and I thought he was very fortunate to get a little bit of bat onto that one. Otherwise, he would have been marching back to the pavilion. But he got a slight edge onto it, and he survives.
So Cody Grant faces his first delivery from Dura. Wide ball outside the off stump, and I don't think that's the plan by the Dominicans. When you look at the field setting, they have at this point 5 on the leg side with a square leg, fine leg, short fine leg, and a mid wicket close in. They're also operating with a slip. So I think the plan there is to keep the ball relatively straight as possible on the off stump, and probably get him out in front, or probably a straighter one with the batsman getting caught at slip. As you can see, there are more changes to the field on the leg side, where there are now 2 men at short mid wicket station, and This one is this one is an interesting field there.
Yeah, and
they
I
must
think-
have done
I
their
think-
homework on Grant
Yeah,
because
it appears
these
so.
two guys at mid wicket are very close to each other.
Yeah, and I think too, the message is clear to the bowler to bowl a bit straighter rather than bowling outside of the off stump. So it's an interesting field, like you said. I've seen two men closing shot on the offside, but I've never really seen two men closing on the onside.
So Jelani Joseph will continue from the commentary booth end. St. Vincent remain on 90 for 3, is it? And he bowls a full toss, and that's hit straight to the man at mid wicket by Baptiste. Mario Baptiste hit that full toss straight to the man at mid wicket. Joel Durade taking a straightforward catch, and St. Vincent losing their 4th wicket on the brink of tea, and I can see the umpires pulling off the bails, and that will be tea on the 2nd day. Jelani Joseph seemed to be the man for Dominica at the moment, having 3 wickets for 17 runs. And putting St. Vincent on the back foot, Beno.
It's interesting that Jelani is, that's his 3rd wicket, so to speak. He's taken 2 wickets with balls that probably wasn't merit to get wickets, so to speak, if you understand what I mean. But I thought it was an excellent catch by good reflex from young Joel Jura at short mid wicket there. Just clutching that. I think it was straight to his midriff, but he did an excellent job.
5 minutes ago we were talking about St. Vincent going into tea in control and probably thinking of getting the 137 runs. Right now, coming out of the team interval, it will be Dominica 90 for 4. St. Vincent requiring 133. With Grant or not, and more than likely the captain, Luke will be coming in to meet him.
Yeah.
Dominica taking these wickets just before the interval, and they seem to be in total control at the moment.
Well, that's the beauty of the game of cricket. A sniff, and then you open the floodgates, So the Dominicans are right in there, and what they need to do is to just keep pressing the pedal, and get the job done. I think they are well on their way to get the full points in this game, which is very important in a short tournament. And like the game has changed, like you quite rightly said, Kevin, drastically changed in a few minutes.
These are the things you see in cricket. A game of glorious uncertainties. The guys were batting very well, and one good delivery and one bad shot changed the afternoon for the St. Vincent team. And now we see 90 for 4 at tea. What will the Vincentians be thinking now? I mean, we spoke about the plans coming out of tea. I can tell you that the Dominicans will be looking to wrap up because they only have to bowl 6 deliveries now. 5 to 10 minutes ago, they were looking at 9 wickets to get. It's now 6. 90 for 4 at the Windsor Park. 21 overs and 1 ball has been bowled in the innings. And we will be joining you back in just about 15 minutes time to see the final session of play at the Windsor Park. We ask whoever is hearing us to come in to the Windsor Park, and after the tea interval we will be seeing Clement Marsley and Compton Bertrand. So you will join us here at the Windsor Park just after 3 o'clock or 3:15 this afternoon.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back. Good afternoon to the Windsor Park Stadium. We are going to continue the match. Of course, St. Vincent is going to continue their innings after the tea break. And it's going to be the little leg spinner, Joseph, to continue bowling. So at this time, St. Vincent is 90 for 4. Mario Baptiste is on 12, and Cody Grant is not yet off the mark. So it's going to be a pretty interesting development here after tea, Master, given the situation.
Yes, welcome back. And see Jelani Joseph trying to pile on as much pressure as possible to ensure they secure the win for Dominica.
Because that little spinner seems to be getting some serious bite of the surface now.
Wow. As you could see in this delivery, the ball is turning sharply away from the batsman, who in turn is trying to play across the line of this delivery. And well taken by wicketkeeper Yawani Regis. Jelani Joseph is not the tallest of spinners, but the nature of the surface is one that helps him in generating some steep bunks. As Dominica, you could see as soon they came back onto the field, their body language was very positive. And you see this Cody Grant slapping this delivery, pass made on for a 4. It was a delivery that was flighted, and the batsman made the most out of the opportunity which was on offer.
Yes, indeed, Master. You know, this one was flighted. It was slightly a full toss, and of course driving it beautifully down past mid-on, that is. And it's a lovely outfield. Outfield is pretty quick, and he had no chance there, and earning them 4 more runs. So they are now 95 for 4. So it's the end of the over now. Of course, Joseph having bowled 4 overs, no maidens, 22 runs for 3 wickets. So far, having a very, very good day at the office as far as bowling. So I'm sure his captain would be delighted if he could continue that sort of performance and, you know, really pull out the victory there for the Dominica, for Dominica, Masley.
Yes, you may look at the context of the game, the run rate, his economy rate is kind of high, but you, in this instance, in the game situation, you want to take as many wickets as possible. They are in the attacking mode, and rightly so, because Dominica's clear intentions is to seal off this game quickly. And even if there's field placements now, you see with Joel Durant operating from the Billy Doctorow Pavilion end, a field setting which is really indicative of the aggression that they have been showing in the field.
Yes, indeed. The fielders are pretty near. Of course, there's a man in the cities, first slip. There's a man at short backward square leg, or fine leg rather. There's a man at short mid wicket. There's a man at short cover. And of course, Joel Dura is really operating there with the intention to really dismiss, uproot rather, Joe Williams. Because as you said earlier, Master, it's a question now of getting the wickets.
Yes, certainly. You could see, is it Edmond Moranci, number 5, yes, right in the face of the batter, and just hoping that he spills one up as Joel shot. He's not tall by any stretch of the imagination, but he is bowling with a great deal of control. I've noticed that he has slowed down the way his deliveries and looking to get a wicket, inducing a fall shot from the Vincentian batsman. But Joe Williams is up to the task and just plays that ball through third man, where they are able to scamper through for a single. And it's an interesting passage of play. You know, we want to see the overall approach from the Vincentian batters, bearing in mind that they have 127 runs to win, a target of 127 runs in about 21 overs, mandatory 21 overs. And the question is the approach towards getting this total.
Yes, indeed, Marsley. So now it's going to be Joe Williams to receive. He's a left-handed batsman. And he will have to really provide some real strong support there to his partner. In fact, these two right now are required to really repair the damage that was earlier done if they are to succeed at achieving the target. Right now, they are in a bit of a border, of course, having lost 4 wickets for 97 runs and requiring 126 more. Of course, this is certainly indicative of some pressure on top, quite apart from the barometric pressure of the atmosphere. So they will have to really dig deep, if they are to really pull themselves out of that hole in which they are currently, Masley.
Yes, they have to toil and dig deep, as we see a very good delivery bowled by Jelani Joseph, beating the batsman all ends up, and again continuing, following up with an even straighter delivery onto the batter. And it's not going to be easy for the Vincentian batters as seeks to stamp the authority on this game.
Indeed, and currently Jelani Joseph is asking a lot of questions of the batters, given the fact that he has really found his groove there. His lines and lengths are pretty much on point, and also getting some significant purchase of the surface. So this is posing a challenge to the batsmen.
Not only that, it's good cricket here being displayed by the bowler himself, being quite aware of what his intent is. He just signaled to the mid and mid-off, here, guys, I need you further back. And you notice right after that he flights the ball and trying to entice the batsman to going for the big shot. But it didn't come off, but it is a clear indication that these young guys out there are thinking the game and trying to be innovative in the quest for victory.
Indeed, and one of the things I noticed that he does is he changes his position on the crease whenever he's bowling to the left-handers. He moves from over the wicket to around the wicket, and he actually creates the angle in addition to the natural spin that he gets into the left-hander, Masley.
That's a sign of somebody who is maturing at his craft and knowing exactly what he wants to get done. And that is for me, it's a very encouraging sign for our cricket, seeing that our young bowlers or at that level, our young players are able to analyze and assess the game situation and act accordingly.
Indeed. So it's going to be Dura to continue operating from the Billy Doctor pavilion end. And he will be, of course, bowling to Cody Grant. That's the second delivery now.
Well, by now everyone should know Joel isn't just going to give you scoring opportunities. He would bowl tight lines and he would keep coming at you over and over again, and that is one of the hallmarks of his contribution towards this game. We expect Joel to really just come there and squeeze the batsman as much as possible. He's one who also looks to get a wicket in every delivery that he bowls, and a very young guy, about the age of 15 if I'm not mistaken, and he is there doing battle for his team.
Indeed, Master. In fact, I'm somewhat surprised that he hasn't gotten the wicket yet. There's a chance of a run out. Let's see what the umpire decides here. No signal coming from the umpire, so it seems as if he made it safely back home, Master.
Again, we could see the full commitment by this youngster. Full commitment, throwing himself in the field to trying to execute that run out. And again, that is one of the things that we we just want to encourage our young players out there. When you're on the field, you give 110% in everything that you do. Even when he was out batting, that was the first time I actually saw him with the bat, because we played in the just concluded inaugural T10 tournament, and he was electric in the field. He bowled well, and today I saw him. Batting is not his forte, but just his approach and just his intensity, I was quite impressed with the way he ran between the wickets, and also judging when the single was on and not on. And to see him, it's a positive sign for Dominica's cricket.
Yes, indeed, Mercy. He has a real good cricket brain and is very talented. And this time, again, he's coming from around the wicket to the left-hander. Although this time he's an off-spinner, but he's again creating the angle that would cause the ball to move in two directions, one coming in and then going away. The natural angle from wide of the crease, and then on pitching, it deviates away from the batsman. So that's very clever thinking there by the youngster. So it's the end of the over, and after 25 overs, it's 101 for 4, requiring 122 more runs to win. So there are 19 overs left. Cody Grant is on 8, Joe Williams is on 3, and there's a small partnership of 11 runs, and currently they are going at a run rate of 4.04, but they'll have to really cement this partnership in order to give the team any possibility of crossing the line, Masley.
Certainly, you would expect the message at the tea break to the Vincentian batters is to build partnerships, and that's the only way they could overhaul this total, as we were saying. Cody Grant hoisting this ball over mid-on and being able to capitalize and get 4 runs.
Yes, indeed. A very good shot there by the youngster. That's Cody Grant just capitalizing on this one there and making full use of that scoring opportunity. You know, they'll need a lot more of those, honestly.
Certainly. This delivery wasn't well lined by Jelani, and I'm sure he's trying to make amends. And this one a straighter one, pitching outside the line of the leg stump, and should not be given LBW.
Indeed. And he's driving this one straight back over the bowler's head for 4. What a lovely shot that was. Just stepping into it and driving straight, just holding his bat, presenting the full face and getting that boundary down there. Master,
that's
lovely
a very
shot.
good shot. Good shot by Cody. Playing sensibly as well. It's a lesser risk if you play with the line of the delivery, and he was able to clear well straight back over the bowler's head for 1 bounce into the boundary for 4. Jelani is responding with a wider delivery, and the batsman elects to pull out and allow the ball to be taken by keeper Yawani Regis.
Seems to be bowling regular leg spinners. I haven't seen many googlies yet, but I'm sure he might have that in his repertoire.
Again, the ploy of the Dominican team is to really attack the batsmen, offer them deliveries that would induce a false shot, and thus far the pair of Grant and Williams have been circumspect in their approach. The bad balls, they really put them away, and those which are of a better nature, they really be cautious and look to play each ball on its merit, and that's how you teach students of the game to take each ball at its merit. Do not premeditate, and they are doing just that. So it's a very interesting passage of play as we see a change from the Billy Doctrove pavilion end, where it is Tyrus LeBlanc who's another leg spinner, and we see this ball being misfielded by Shekwan Toussaint, and the Vincentians are able to get 4 runs. Very unfortunate that this would happen, and we also immediately we see the switch in the fielders. Shekwan may have been bowling for a long period and just in the deep, not being focused for a brief period, and resulting in 3 runs that could have been avoided.
And I think he was also injured yesterday. He suffered a muscular strain, it seems, around the hamstring area, and was ushered off the field after that long spell that he had. So perhaps the captain is trying to protect him on the boundary. Because Tyrus Libler, another leg spinner, is in operation at the Billy Doctrove pavilion end. And that's his first over. And he's bowling to Joe Williams, who's on 7. Score is 113 now for 4. Well, I still see the little crowd of yesterday at the stadium mass there. It's a little less than yesterday, but I call them the diehard fans.
Yes, regardless the form of cricket, you will always find supporters. I could, from my area, from where we're sitting, we could still hear Joel's mom cheering him on with every delivery, and that is very important in cricket. Based on the player, I am quite aware that some players feed off the energy that they get from the crowd. Others really just want to know that there's somebody supporting them, and that goes a long way in the efforts for throughout the game. We just see a slight misfield and cost the Dominican team a run as the batsmen were able to cross. So we're seeing a change on both ends, and is it Jason? Yes, Jason Vidal is going to operate from the media center end.
So Vidal is, there's an appeal for caught there at short leg, but the umpires are unmoved, so it seems as if this one came off the pads, the thigh pad perhaps. Of course, Vidal extracting some bongs there, and he's pulling from over the wicket to Joe Williams, who is very watchful and has been very watchful ever since he came to the crease. Vidal seems to be posing some difficulty already. Also getting some purchase, just like the other two spinners. Challenging the technique and concentration of Joe Williams.
And Joe Williams is coming right forward and playing this ball in front of him. That was a very good over bowled by Jason Vidal.
Indeed. And so currently St. Vincent is 114 for 4. Cody Grant is on 16. Joe Williams, his partner, is on 8. And there's a partnership of 24. And currently they are going at a run rate of 4.07 runs per over. And having 109 runs, 9 more runs for victory. Yes, 109 more runs, that is, for victory. So, but that is still some good work to be done there, Masley.
Yes, it's the approach towards the game. If they take it at different stages and have their goals set for various periods of the game, it's not something that is far off the reach. But I'm certain that the Dominican team as well has their plans.
Yes, that's a very interesting field setting there. There are two men at there's actually cover and short extra cover. And there's a man at cover point. So they are all lined up there on the offside, Masley. Very interesting field setting there by Pascal. There's a man at short leg, and there's a man at short mid on, and there's also long on. They are all in a straight line, or straightish line.
I think they're trying to get the batsman to play across the line, but the bowler needs to be on point with his lines. And as we could see, the score advances to 116 for 4. Quiet passage of play. Not many shots are being, not many aggressive shots are being played. The batsmen are just trying to get through, with Cody Grant on 17 and Joe Williams on 8. The last batsman gone was Mario Baptiste, caught Joel Durant off the bowling of Jelani Joseph for 12. Tyrus LeBlanc just concluded his second over with 1 maiden for 7 runs. And we have Jason Vidal, who is operating from the media center end, coming to do battle for Dominica.
Yes, indeed. And since the departing of Rishon Lewis, we've suddenly seen a drop in the run rate, and it's a wicket there. He's caught and bowled.
That's a very good
Jason Vidal, of course, picking up the wicket of Joe Williams, who went for the drive and could only find the hands of Williams of rather Vidal, of course, who
Do
just
the safe pair of hands,
has a very safe pair of hands and just step into his right
Yes.
and making light work out of this one.
Yes, from his approach, Justin went so casually to take this catch that I thought that it had bounced off the ground, but no, it was straight into the hands, the safe hands of Justin Vidal, and St. Vincent losing their 5th wicket, and this can only add on more pressure to the remaining batters, and I think from the look of the batsman coming in, it must be Luke Wilson, the captain. The captain.
Yes, the captain
is
himself.
the one who is oil soiled up. His pads and his gloves are just the only thing white, pure white on him. Luke has been diving and sliding around the ground and rubbing the ball, shining the ball off his trousers, and he comes out to do battle with Cody Grant, who was a number 23 in bright white in comparison to Luke Wilson.
Yes, indeed. The crucial part now is what are their plans now that they have just lost a wicket and there's only about 15 overs left in the day's play. What are they going to do from here? Are we going to have a go, or are we going to be defensive? Are we going to just secure the draw, or are we going to try to pull out this one?
The captain is out, so I'm certain we could judge from his approach. We just want to take time off to really thank Windward Island Lotteries for sponsoring this tournament. Their contribution to cricket is immeasurable, and I just hope that we can continue seeing their contribution as our cricket grows from strength to strength.
So Luke Wilson is at the crease, and he's the captain, and he will be doing battle, of course, against the spinner, that is Justin Vidal. And this one, he works it away from mid-wicket and is already off the mark. So it's 117 now for 5. Cody Grant is on 17, and of course Luke Wilson has just gotten off the mark. And it will be interesting to see what his approach is going to be from here on, whether they're going to have a go at the target or they are going to be defensive and secure the draw. It's a very cool day, very lovely atmosphere. There's more light streaming in than yesterday, of course. And it's a beautiful, lush outfield. And very good wicket, of course, to bat on. And Vidal, of course, is trying to add another wicket to his tally. And this time he's belting this one down towards long on. And the batsmen are getting the one, so it's another 117 now for 5. You know, Well, by the looks of things, things are pretty quiet now. St. Vincent doesn't show so much aggression, so I suspect they are beginning to settle down for the draw, Marsley. And this one was shot and pulled towards deep mid wicket, but the batsman could only get to one. So the boundaries are not flowing at this time, Marsley.
Yeah, but no sooner that you said that they are settled down, we had a big heave to mid wicket, and was well fielded by Shekwan Tuse out in the deep, and he right fielded that throw back into for the wicket keeper. Although the throw was a bit off, but the batsman had enough time to go through for a single, and the score advances to 119 for 5 after 30.3 overs, giving them a total to win of 104. Cody Grant is on 19, and Luke Wilson, the captain, is on 1. Luke Wilson is looking to ensure, or is trying to ensure, that he stays as long as possible to steer his team to safety.
In fact, we saw him yesterday. He spent quite a bit of time at the wicket. Didn't score at a high strike rate, but he really provided some good support to Luis, that is Rishon. And today again, he seems to be battling with that level of responsibility. But the question is, can that effort earn them any victory here this afternoon?
This is quite early to predict. You know, the adage that cricket is a game of glorious uncertainty, and we just have to sit there and observe till the end to call it. But I'm certain that Captain Stefan Pascal is looking to marshal his troops into securing the first victory of this encounter.
Yes, indeed. First, if they can, just pick up the rest of the wickets here this afternoon within the remaining overs, of course, certainly they would get an outright victory here. I think that's what Stephen Pascal and his boys are really pressing for. But since the departure of the dangerous, hard-hitting Rishon Lewis, the run rate has really declined significantly. In fact, it's right now 3.83, and it was previously at 5 point somebody thereabout. And since his departure, Masley, we've seen a significant drop. The runs have dried up, and I think he really makes a difference in their lineup.
Yeah, certainly. That's always the case when you start losing wickets. You try to be in a defensive mode. The batsman who is set would be able to pierce the field or find the gaps where in very tight angles, as opposed to a batsman coming into a new batsman coming in to the wicket and being under even more pressure than those who are set. So I would say Justin continues to toil and looking to see if he could really snatch another wicket. And the Vincentian batters are looking to cement their positions and to bat as long as possible.
Yes, indeed.
Jason, for the last two deliveries, I've been looking intently, and I've observed he brought the first 3 deliveries into the batter, and then this last delivery he just allowed it to hold its line and go through to the keeper. It seems that he's trying to set up the batsman, and that is a good sign. That is clearly a sign of a bowler who's thinking the game.
Yes, indeed. Of course, And that's indeed that's the hallmark of a very good bowler. To really get rid of very good top order batsmen, you will have to come up with some tactics. You can't just bulldoze your way into very skillful good order batsmen. Even with extreme pace as well, Master, you would know that, and you would have to really engage your brain and bowl intelligently, set them up, and use a process against them, because they are like machines. They've been prepared for that.
I could say you know that as well. For the constant battle that we have between the both of us, playing in different leagues.
Yes, indeed. In fact, it was you the last time you got me out.
I remember. That's why I said you know that
but
quite well.
It was a wet wicket too. And you took advantage of that. You had me coming forward and the ball delayed off the surface.
Off the surface and
you lobbed towards first slip.
You were screaming your way out of the park. You see, and that is the interesting thing with sport. Cricket has a way of uniting us. Really, you create, or you are able to make good friendships throughout. And you are one of the batsmen who I didn't really like bowling to. I mean, I will admit that. I will admit that.
You could have done it off the air.
No, there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that. You run up as hard and bowl your best ball, and Mr. Bertrand is solid in defense, and he looks at you and he says, "Good ball," the next day. And you would have to do that for a couple hours before he he outs himself. You make that rare mistake, and then you just have to be thankful that today is your day. But yes, I would know that well. No matter how much you plan, once a batsman is looking at the ball right onto the bat, it makes it very difficult to get him out.
Indeed.
And in games, in 2-day or 3-day encounters, it's even increasingly difficult to get a well-set batsman out, as they have so much time to just assess and keep probing, and that's what you have to do, and hopefully that you'll get some purchase. But as we see, Tyrus again bowling a very decent line to Cody Grant, who is just pushing that ball back, and the bowler has to feel to his own bowling. So it's very interesting how a surface as well, a good surface, or generally the surface would contribute towards the game. And as you alluded, I got you out on a sticky wicket.
Indeed. Yeah, this one stuck in my memory. I remember that very vividly.
I remember we had that argument before the game as well, that I was going to get you out, and he said, "Not today." But yes, good memories, as Cody is back and plays the ball along the track, and that brings the end of the over. Tyrus bowling 4 overs, no maidens, 9 runs for no wicket, and the Vincent total is 122 for 5, chasing 223 runs. They're trailed by 100 runs, and Dominica is trying to gain 5 more wickets. Hopefully they could do that in quick succession. But nonetheless, we're here to witness good cricket, and the best team ought to win today.
Yes, indeed, Master. Could not have said it better. Of course, Luke Wilson is the man on strike now, and Justin Vidal will continue to operate from the River Road end. That is the northern section of the field. So far, Vidal has done a very fine job, having bowled 4 overs for 1 wicket and only 10 runs. Of course, Luke Wilson seems to be very, very much in defense here, showing good technique and providing good support to his partner. That is Cody Grant, who's on 21. And I'm kind of impressed with his technique in terms of coming forward and going back. He seems to be picking the length of the ball very, very early. And he's very decisive, as to whether to come forward or whether to go back. And that's a good sign of someone who understands how to play spin. Well, Cody Grant is quite comfortable, like we were saying earlier, and his partner Luke Wilson against the spinners. Perhaps it's time for some speed.
Well, we have to wait and see what's the Captain Stefan Pascal's plan. But the batters look quite comfortable with the spin, especially Cody Grant is having a long knock, getting some good runs and playing some very orthodox shots and playing sensibly.
So after 34 overs, it's 123 now for 5. And there are 10 overs left in the innings. And they require some 100 more runs to win this match. And currently Cody Grant is on 21. His partner Luke Wilson is on 3. So it's going to be Tyrese Liebler to operate from the Billy Doctorow Pavilion end. Because he has not gotten a wicket yet. He has bowled 4 overs, none for 10. And he'll be looking to pick up his first wicket.
We can also see the support staff, well, it's the management staff of the Dominican team walking around. I'm sure there are some
Yes, indeed.
some messages and cheering the guys on towards victory. But the St. Vincent batters are there and they're trying and fighting as hard as they can. As we see, this delivery is just played through mid-wicket, and Joel Duran fields and rifles the return to the wicket keeper.
Well, the sun has come out in all of its glory at this time. And these two have certainly settled down against the spinners, interestingly. So after the end of the over, that is over number 35, it's 126 now for 5. Requiring 97 more runs for victory, but there are only 9 overs left in this match. Cody Grant is on 22 and his partner Luke Wilson is on 5, a partnership of 10, and they are going at a rate of 3.6 runs per over. Things are pretty quiet at this time. Not much happening as far as wicket taking and run scoring. So the game pretty much is winding down. And but the conditions here are brilliant. Lovely sunshine here at the Windsor Park Stadium. Well, there's a change in bowling there, so it's going to be Shekwan Toussaint to operate from the media center end. And he'll be bowling to Luke Wilson, the captain, who's on 5. Of course, the captain just changing the tempo there a bit as far as the bowling, moving from spin to pace to see if they'll produce, any results there. Of course, if they are able to wrap up the innings of the St. Vincentians, they would be able to get the outright win there this afternoon. Of course, the fielders are pretty much near the wicket. There's a man at mid-on, mid-off, cover, extra cover. There's a man at point. There's a first slip and a man somewhere in the gully, short gully that is. Shot mid-wicket, mid-on, and there's a man also at long leg on the boundary. In fact, that's the only man who is away from the playing area. Of course, Shikwan Tuse had a very, very good day at the office yesterday. Picking up 3 wickets. And very vital ones too. Really had some accuracy in his bowling, tight lines and lengths, and that seems to be a feature of his bowling. And that's it. He has gotten the wicket of the captain. Luke Wilson is caught behind. This one brushing the edge, just moving slightly away from the batsman, who was tempted into the drive, not getting a hold of it. And the captain, Luke Wilson, has to make his way back to the pavilion. So 126 now for 6. So, of course, we take a break right now. So it seems to be a drinks break. So we'll be back shortly. Stay tuned, don't go away. This match is winding down. There's just about 8 more overs left in this match. And, of course, in just a few moments, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Itself. So we are back. Of course, Tuse again finding the edge. With the ball not carrying on to the keeper. So it's the end of the over. And it's to 126 for 6. Of course, Tuse again showing his capabilities, master of the ball.
Very good bowling thus far from Shekwan Tuse. This particular delivery didn't carry to the keeper or to the slip. Shekwan is holding his head in disbelief. But very good bowling. You could see he initially started swinging the ball back into the left-hand batsman, and he surprised him with one which was going away slightly, and the batsman was induced into playing the shot. The edge was found and was well taken by the wicketkeeper. And St. Vincent is now 126 for the loss of 6, missing 97 runs to win. And we're seeing Tyrus Leblanc, sorry. Toussaint is kind of stuck in my mind right now because I was really admiring the way the young guy was running in and bowling smartly towards the set batsman at that time. The captain, Wilson, it was? Yes, Wilson. Luke Wilson. And Tyrus Leblanc is bowling his 6th over for 12 runs. No maidens and no wickets, but he is keeping things tight and piling on the pressure on the St. Vincent batsmen.
Yes, indeed. Just going at a rate of 2.25, so he's not actually leaking runs. And that's a very good thing, you know, in his partnership bowling with Tuse at the moment, who is very accurate. Of course, there's another straight line there. There's a man at first slip, there's a man at silly mid-off, and there's a man at short cover, all in a straightest line. So it's going to be Courtney Franklin to receive from Libla. And now it's the end of the over. So after 37, it's 127 for 6. Cody Grant is on 22. Of course, Franklin is not yet off the mark. And they need 96 runs for victory here, which seems very unlikely with only 7 overs left in the match. And just to remind you, those of you who are not familiar with what transpired so far in the match, Dominica batted first and scored 186. St. Lucia was bowled out for 75, is it? And Dominica in the second innings scored 111. So, of course, St. Vincent and St. Vincent had a target of 222, or 23 rather, for victory. And currently behind by 96. If they achieve that within these 7 overs, of course, they will have the victory, but it seems very unlikely at this stage, given that St. Vincent has already lost 6 wickets and are only on 127 runs, Masley.
Yes, and we see Shekwan Tusa coming back into the attack and right on target with his first delivery.
Well, there seems to be a small drizzle there, but not strong enough to warrant, of course, calling for the covers. The umpires have not yet indicated that, so it doesn't seem at the moment anything very threatening to stop play. But we can see some grey clouds, of course, just above the mountain range towards the east and the south. Yet at the same time, there is some sunshine, as we would say, rain falling, colloquially, donkey marrying. Well, Shekwan again is looking to add a few more wickets to his tally. I'm sure if he succeeds at doing that in these few overs left, that certainly will lead to the victory of the national team. Dominica, that is. So it's the end of the over, and after 38, it's 129 for 6. Cody Grant is on 23. His partner Courtney Franklin is on 1. And they still require 94 more runs for victory. And they are to get this in only 6 overs. Of course, the drizzle has ceased. And that's a very good sign as far as the weather.
So number 60, Courtney Franklin is doing battle for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Courtney is on free. Previous delivery, he was swinging that ball to mid-wicket. And again, to a delivery which was outside of the off stump. He's playing that, hoisting that over the infield. And the fielder was Kyron Phillip, is it? On the boundary, was able to cut it off, and they are able to get 2.
I've noticed too that he's playing that ball with the spin. The leg spinner is, causing that ball to shape into him. And he's stepping into it and hitting the ball with the turn towards mid-wicket. And he has been exploiting that gap there between deep long on that is, and deep mid-wicket. And so he seems to be reading the spinner.
Yes, rightly so. He's calling for a change in his gear. And for a brief moment, play will be halted. So Franklin is long forward. And
Yep, typical T-Lenders approach.
It's very interesting as LeBlanc is trying to find a way to outfox him, and with this delivery he's driving through the covers.
That was
just given by Jaden Joseph, and the batsmen are able to come for 2. And
that certainly wasn't a T-Lender shot there,
no,
Masley. That was a proper shot through cover point.
Right, and he was looking at paying close attention to the ball, playing well within himself, and the score advances to 135 for the loss of 6, as we see light showers moving across. We hope that it's not threatening to the display, and the crowd relatively small, and as it's a working day, we're looking forward to a greater crowd on the games, the next game, which is Saturday and Sunday. And as with a win here, Dominica will definitely attract a few more spectators for sure.
Indeed, Masley, indeed. I'm sure a lot more fans will make their way into the stadium. And there was an opportunity there. Cody Grant, and another chance of a run out, and this time the bat run out, Masley. So he missed the cotton ball opportunity, but on attempting to take the run, of course, the man approaching his end, the bowler's end that is, got run out. So another wicket falls.
That is very interesting. We may have faulted Shekwan, but he was ably supported by his teammate in effecting that run out, because Cody Grant is the one who is the danger man, and he was running to the danger end, and that ball was thrown by is it Yazzie, who made a direct hit, Yazzie Grano, and effecting the run out, and much to the relief of Sheko and Thomas, because you could see the grimace when he missed the cotton ball opportunity. As a bowler running in and giving it a full effort, at times before you even complete your action, the ball may be right back at you, especially if you're bowling the ball quick and you have a batsman who is set and timing the ball swiftly. At times you may just have to take evasive action. But that was fortunate for Shequan Toussaint that the fielder was able to effect the run out.
Yes, indeed, Masley.
Yes. So it's 145 for 7. Cody Grant run out for 23. Cody played a very good knock in my assessment of his efforts and brings Kobe Dabrio to the wicket.
Plus, we just saw the rare full toss there bowled by Shequan Toussaint.
I think Shequan is looking for the Yorker.
Indeed.
Rightly so. At this point in time, you could see a little hurdle around the batsman, captain, Stefan, Pascal, and Kyron Phillip. Just simply saying, you know, it maybe in your best interest to hit that ball over the infield, but Courtney Franklin really jumping across the off stump and then electing to leave the ball. It's very comical in the approach.
Yes, indeed.
But that's his style, and he survives, and the total advances to 136 for the loss of 7 wickets.
Yes, and Toussaint actually attempted another Yorker. And I think you were right when you said that he really was looking for the Yorker there, because that's one of the most difficult balls to bowl. And you would know that, being a bowler yourself.
Yes.
Sometimes the full toss comes out when you attempt to bowl the Yorker, because your grip on the ball has to be so accurate, and your execution of it at the point of release, you know, to get that length, that Yorker length. And in the last delivery, he was able to achieve that.
Again, another attempt at the Yorker, and it's just the swing on the ball may have saved the the batsman, as that ball may have been moving down the line of the leg stump as indicated by the umpire. But it was a very close call. Shequan Toussaint may have felt that he was hard done by this decision, but the umpire's decision is always final, and it was from our vantage point, and even on the review, it was a very good shout, and the batsman lives to fight another day. But again, you could clearly see Shequan's intent is to bowl the ball right up into the block hole, limiting the chances of scoring and increasing the chances of getting a wicket, which is really what the Dominican team is greatly in need of.
Yes, indeed, and in that last particular delivery, you could see it was very, very, very close. and I'm just trying to perhaps, figure out whether the umpire felt perhaps that ball pitched just outside the leg stump, but it looked very, very close after, and that joker length right up there in the block hole. And it really appeared very, very close. So, of course, the fielders had reasons to really appeal that much for that wicket.
Right now we see Yazi Grando in operation from the Billy Doctor of Pavilion end. Bowling really quick, and he was the one who took the first wicket of the first ball, and he is back bowling his 4th over for 16 runs and with the solitary wicket.
Yes, he had a very good spell yesterday as well, and today just looking to continue in the same vein. Would be very nice if he could contribute towards wrapping up the innings there and providing some good support to Tuse, that is Shikwan Tuse, who so far has been bowling very well. That bowling partnership there is going to be critical there between these two.
Indeed, and as you could see, when pressure is applied on both ends, then the tendency for the batsmen to really fall in short increases, as we see this ball is steered down to the third man area where Jaden Joseph and Jason Vidal gives chase. Jaden Joseph wins that race and rifles that ball back to the keeper. The score is 138 for the loss of 7. Compton, in those days, it's nervous moments for you when you're close to victory and you were just hoping that you could pull through. And we can see the efforts by the bowlers in doing just that.
Yes. They're really giving it the last big effort there, Masley. Cricket of that version is a lot of hard work, and I'm sure they would understand that. It takes a lot of effort, and just giving it their last big effort to try and see if they could close up the innings of the St. Vincentians. So they only require 3 more wickets for victory. Okay. 137 now for 7 is the score after 40.4 overs, and they still need 85 more runs. Of course, Kobe Dabiro is not yet off the mark. Courtney Franklin is on 9. So, of course, there seemed to have been a little mix-up there. It appears to be the captain who slid, trying to effect a run out. I hope he's not injured in any way there. Doesn't appear so. That's good news. Because things are pretty quiet at this moment. The game is slowly winding down, and it's going to be Kobe Dabiro to receive from Yasi Grando, who is running in from the Billy Doctor Pavilion end. Of course, the batsmen are taking 2 runs there as he works this one towards the backward point region, and that, of course, brings the end of the over. So after 41 overs, St. Vincent is 141 for 7. Kobe Dabiro on 2 and Courtney Franklin on 10. And it's going to be Shikwan Tuse to continue operation from the media center end. That is the River Road end. Of course, yesterday bowled very well. Picked up 3 wickets And today, another one. And it'll be bowling to Courtney Franklin, the left-handed batsman. Of course, Tuse has been looking to pitch the ball well up Yorker length deliveries, because these are the tailenders right now at the crease, and he's really looking to trap them leg before or clean bowl to make it as difficult as possible for them, these tailenders. So there are two men in the sleeps. First and second, there's a man at point, there's a man at cover right now, extra cover, mid off, mid on, short mid wicket, and there's a man down there at long leg near the boundary. Things are pretty quiet at the moment. Not much is happening, but I'm pretty sure that the Dominican team will be very intent on wrapping up things here this afternoon and pulling out the complete victory. They're already leading on first innings, but I'm sure they would be much happier if they would get the outright victory here against the St. Vincentians. They have just under 3 overs. Of course, Courtney Franklin showing some solid defense there. In the meantime, Shikwan Tuse is looking to add a few more wickets to his tally. Tuse having bowled 5 overs. In fact, that's going to be his last delivery of this spell. Has picked up the 1 wicket for only 3 runs. And it's the end of the over now. So it's 141 now for 7 after 42 overs. Of course, right now not much can be done, but cricket is a game of uncertainties. It's very likely that something special could occur at this moment in these few overs left. We could see a hat-trick. We could see the fall of 2 quick wickets. And that is the beauty of the game of cricket. It can happen at any moment and really turn the game on its head. Of course, the Dominicans will be going after these wickets. So they have some more time left. Tuse, rather Grano, hitting the deck hard there and forcing the batsman on his toes. So Grano is still able to extract some bounce off the surface, although it's a very good wicket to bat on. But if you bend your back, like Grano is doing right now, of course a bowler can extract some bounce off the surface. He's beaten there. Beautiful delivery by Grano. The ball beating him just outside the stump at good length. And he was comprehensively bewildered there by that particular ball. 141 now for 7. First, let me just remember the sponsor, the Windward, the Windward Islands Lottery sponsorship. Just want to make mention. Of course, who is responsible for the financing of this tournament. So, special mention must be made of Windward. So it's the end of the over, and after 43 overs, it's 142 for 7. Kobe Dabiro is on 2, and Courtney Franklin is on 10. Of course, Grano having bowled 5 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 21. So there's going to be a change in bowling from the media center end, that is the road end. So Kyron Phillip is into the attack, number 6. Of course, Phillip has bowled 4 overs previously, none for 14, and I'm sure he'll be looking to pick up a wicket in this spell. So Kobe Dabrio is the man on strike, and he seems to be quite comfortable in defense there. There don't seem to be any urgency for runs. The batsmen seem to be quite content with just Now hanging in there. Meantime, Dominica has other ideas. They're looking to wrap up the innings. And he's bowled there. Stump shattered behind him. He was squared up there by that particular ball. And Kobe Dabrio has to make his way back to the heart. Knew nothing about this one. And Kyron Phillip picks up his first wicket. So the 8th wicket is down. It's 142 now for 8. So Philip will continue. So it's going to be Solomon Bascom to replace the outgoing Kobe Dabrio. And of course, Kyron Phillip is again hitting the deck hard there. Length delivery just outside the off stump, and this one going through. So the ball is carrying pretty nicely off the surface. Kyron Phillip is looking for another wicket there as he charges in. And seems to be looking quite aggressive as well. Looking for the short ball there to, as we would say, rough up the tail ender and induce an error. Of course, usually we see that bowling there towards tail enders because they are not the most capable of the bats, and especially the short balls usually pose difficulty for them. And right away he follows up with a Yorker delivery. So that's very good thinking there by Kyron Phillip. The previous ball was a short ball, and then the one to follow was a Yorker length delivery. So that was a very, very smart cricket there, but just didn't produce the wicket. So it's the end of the over, and it's 142 for 8. So Gianni Joseph is back into the attack. That is the leg spinner. Because has had a very good spell previously, and Stephen Pascal saw it fit to bring him back into the attack to try and wrap up things here for Dominica. Of course, Courtney Franklin is the man to receive. So the ball is much older now, so we expect it to really get some more bite of the surface, a lot more friction, as a result more spin. And the fielders are pretty close in. Of course, just applying the pressure there on Solomon Bascom. 2 slips in place, first and second. And there's a man in the silly. There's a man at short mid-wicket. There's a man at cover, mid-off, square leg. And a man at point, mid-on, short. So the fielders are pretty much in, just, pressing in on the batter and creating some psychological pressure there. And so we'll have to hold his nerve there. Because Joseph at the moment is bowling very well. In fact, it's the end of the over and it's 143 for 8. In fact, that was a very good spell there bowled by Jelani Joseph. Was very consistent in his lines and his length, and was also getting some good purchase there off the surface. So far he has bowled 7 overs. He has picked up 3 wickets for 32 rounds and has bowled 1 maiden. So pretty good day at the office so far for Jelani Joseph. It's going to be Kyron Phillip to continue from the media center end. Kyron Phillip is going to continue to attack the batters with aggressive bowling. And this one was pulled through mid-wicket, and of course the captain making a diving effort there to try and produce a catch out of this one. Very good effort there by the captain, Stephen Pascal, at mid-wicket. And this time he's finding the boundary at mid-wicket. Short ball again by Kyron Phillip, looking to be aggressive, but Courtney Franklin had other ideas and finding the boundary long there. So it's a 149 now for 8. Courtney Franklin moves to 16. And this time, a Yorker length delivery there. But the batsman was equal to the task. Of course, Phillip just using some variation there. A short ball followed by the Yorker. And he's ball there. Kyron Phillip got his man. This one was accurately pitched. Of course, Franklin was beaten by this one there. Came a little faster than he expected and kept a little lower, of course. And Solomon Bascom has to go. Actually, it's Franklin. So, of course, Dominica picking up another wicket. So it's 149 now for 9. So Kyron Phillip again doing the job for his team. Of course, it's going to be Renoli Hillox to replace the outgoing Franklin. And he's facing Jelani Joseph, who has already picked up 3 wickets. And Dominica is only 1 wicket away from bowling out St. Vincent. Of course, Joseph have had a very good spell so far. Just bowling some very tight lines there and getting some good pitches. And of course, Captain Stephen Pascal is bringing in the fielders around the bat, it seems. All the fielders are encroaching towards the batter. So, of course, point was brought in, square leg was brought in, mid on and mid off was brought in. So mid off is short. There is a CD. There is a first and second slip. There's a man that's short mid wicket, very short, almost just in front of where short leg would be. So, of course, he's netted, so to speak, a net of fielders around Solomon Bascom. Captain Stephen Pascal just wanting to close up things there. So he's really applying the pressure. So it's the end of the over, and 150 now for 9 after 47 overs. So Robinson, having bowled 8 overs, picked up 3 wickets for 33 runs. So of course, St. Vincent still need 73 runs for victory here. So Karen Phillip, of course, is back into the action, and he'll be looking to pick up his 3rd wicket. He's operating from the media center end, that is the northern end. And Renoli Hillox is correctly in defense there on the front foot, but it's a no ball signaled by the umpire there. The diehard fans are still out there in the Grayson Shillingford and Irving Shillingford stand, giving support to the youngsters, the future of our cricket. And this one slips through from the edge of the bat, and beating the man at first slip, and this allows for a run. So it's 151 now for 9. Of course, Kyron Phillip is looking to wrap up things here for the Dominican side. Has already picked up 2 wickets in his 6th over. And he's still looking to be somewhat aggressive there. Still bowling back over length deliveries, hitting the deck hard. Bascom at the tail end there is really showing some sound defensive technique. You know you don't. Of course, Joseph is continuing his spell there. There's some drizzle. And, it seems as if some request or something has been complained about. We'll have to wait and see what exactly the issue is. So, of course, they will continue with the game despite the slight drizzle. It's getting heavier now, of course. But I don't expect it to last very long by the looks of things. Of course, Joseph just pushing in that faster delivery, but not on target. And appeared to be more like an off break. This time, this one coming from back of the arm, but the ball previously appeared to have come from the front of the arm. Of course, if you're wondering, the score right now is 151-9. Solomon Bascom, that is the non-striker, is not yet off the mark, and Rinaldi Hillox, that is the man on strike, is only on 1. So after the end of the over, it's Score remained the same, 151 for 9, and 49 overs bowled. Still, of course, trailed by 71 runs. So they require 72 for victory. Just to remind you, Dominica made 186 in their first innings and 111 in the second. St. Lucia was bowled out for 75. It's a very quiet moment at this time, as things are just simmering down as the game is coming to a close. And it's going to be Solomon Bascom to receive from the Billy Doctor of Pavilion End. And this time, Kyron Phillip is looking for the Yorker. And the ball coming out as a low full toss, but the batsman wasn't at all aggressive in this attempt. Just was happy with a defensive shot, just pushing away in the offside. And now the ball seems to be getting some skid as the drizzle, of course, added some moisture to it, and you could see Stephen Pascal, the captain, is actually trying to dry that ball. And usually when it's like that, it usually skids on much faster off the surface of the wicket. And I could see that as the batsman played forward there, he was beaten for pace, and that's because of the moisture on the ball skidding on much faster off the surface of the wicket. So that is something that players, batters especially, have to be aware of. The conditions can change with a shower of rain or drizzle, and he might have to play much faster when the ball is delivered to him. Okay, so it was actually Jaden. Actually, he's the man, Jaden, number 11. Who is actually doing the services of ensuring that the ball is in good gripping conditions for the bowler. And again, I can see that Kyron Phillip is having some difficulty there in gripping the ball, looking for the Yorker. And instead, the ball is coming out as low full tosses. And so that is one of the difficulties that a wet ball poses, to a bowler. It's a lot more difficult to grip and to control. That was a slower delivery there, and it wasn't on target, and I'm sure perhaps if this one was on target, it might have caused a lot more difficulty for Solomon Bascom. See that he was beaten by the change of pace there. So after the end of the over, it's 151 for 9. Of course, 152 rather for 9. Both batsmen on 1. And they're still trailing by 70 runs. Of course, Phillip, having bowled 8 overs, picked up for 22 runs. Only having 1 maiden in that. Well, it appears to be the spinner again. That is so Joseph will continue from the Billy Doctor of Pavilion end, that is the Botanic Garden ends, and I'm sure he's going to have more difficulty in gripping the ball. But by the looks of things, he's doing pretty well despite the moisture. Of course, he has his rag, which he dried up the ball a bit, but there's always some moisture left. So the ball will be skidding off more than anything else of the surface. So definitely he's going to get less per chase, but because of that moisture on the ball, you could see him wiping the ball before every delivery that he bowls. So, of course, Joseph is having some difficulty then in gripping the ball. It's a lot more difficult for spinners when the ball gets wet. Not sure why medium pacer is not employed on that end. Perhaps it's because of the light intensity. Not sure if the umpires are considering the level of light and for players' safety. We'll have to wait and see if Karen Phillip will be allowed to continue bowling in these conditions of. But there still seems to be some adequate visibility. The sky still appears to be bright enough. But down on the field, the illumination is somewhat different, given that the grounds are barred by the structures of the stadium itself. And so what you might see on a mountain top in terms of light might not be the same reality down on the field within the stadium. So at the end of the over, it's 154 for 9. Solomon Bascom is on 2, and Rinaldi Hillox is on 1. Of course, they are still trailing by 68 runs and require 69 for victory. That is St. Vincent. So the spinner is employed. And that is Jason Vidal. Of course, who already has 1 wicket after 5 overs, only going for 11 runs, and is employed by the captain. It seems as if Vidal is coping with the wettish ball. Because you would know that he would get less purchase now, given the moisture on the ball. So it's just going to skid on more than anything else and might just get a little bit of drift, as we just saw in that delivery. And he's giving out his out leg before there. Jason Vidal wraps up the innings of the St. Vincents. Of course, they are all out for 155. Of course, Vidal, of course, doing the trick there for the Dominican squad. So they have won the match. And I'm sure they will celebrate this victory. So they have started the tournament on a very good footing here, having their first match, their first victory of the tournament. And I'm sure that's going to do them a whole world of good going up into their second match. And, of course, well, we'll have to wait and see, you know, how they progress in the tournament, having, of course, some points on the table already after this victory this afternoon. So, just to recap a little bit, of course, those of you who might not be acquainted with the scores, the national side, Dominica went into bat and made 186 all out. The St. Lucians were bowled out for 75 runs. Dominica, in their second effort, made 111. Of course, had a lead of 111. And, well, the St. Lucians were given, of course, 222 runs, so they were actually chasing 223 for victory there, but falling short there. And Dominica really just capturing this, just taking this victory there, really laboring towards the end there. They had to be patient, of course. You know, rain fell, there was some moisture. Of course, they had to wipe the ball, they had to employ their spinners that they couldn't use their pacers. You know, but they toiled hard, they worked hard, and, you know, eventually with patience and hard work, we're able to really, you know, pull out that victory there. And, of course, you know, we must say congratulations to them, and wish them, you know, well as they continue, you know, in their journey in this tournament, and hopefully they can, you know, perhaps, you know, leave the trophy for the Dominican side. So, of course, well, there are more matches coming up. Tomorrow is a rest day. So over the weekend, of course, we'll see more matches. Don't have the information exactly with me. But, of course, there will be more games. On Saturday, there will be, of course, just waiting for the information there just to announce to you. So Dominica will be going up against Grenada here at the Windsor Park Stadium, and St. Vincent versus St. Lucia at the Benjamin's Park in Portsmouth. So these are the matchups over the weekend. Tomorrow is a rest day, and so Dominica will be going up against Grenada here at the Windsor Park Stadium, and at the Benjamin's Park in Portsmouth it will be St. Vincent against St. Lucia. So these are the matchup for over the weekends. Come out and support those of you who are around this vicinity. Come out and give the national team support. And if you are closer towards the north, that is the Portsmouth area and environs, you can also come out in numbers and support the local team. So that's it for us here. So on behalf of my fellow commentators and the production team, we want to say a very pleasant good evening to you all, and we look forward to seeing you over the weekend.